So far this summer, there have been very few films that have really impressed me and that I've really enjoyed. This film is easily the most enjoyable film I've seen this summer. I loved this movie, and I highly recommend it to anyone who is a sci-fi fan. Or even if you are not, I still suggest you check out this movie. But first, let me give you a brief summary of the plot to this film. The beginning of this film takes place in a fictional 1982 Johannesburg, South Africa, where one day mysteriously an alien craft appears over the top of the city. But for several months, the top of the alien craft does not open up. The people of Johannesburg decide to basically break into this alien craft. They find hundreds of thousands of aliens. They are malnourished, they are disease-ridden, they're practically dying. What we've come to find out is that these aliens really can't fend for themselves. They don't know what to do. They're basically the grunts of their species. So the citizens of Johannesburg, not really knowing what to do, decide to take these aliens for their own and say, well, we'll take care of them, we'll feed them, we'll clothe them, so on and so on. As the years pass in Johannesburg, these aliens become much more of a burden than they should be. They go out and they riot, they loot, they arson, they rob from banks, and the people of Johannesburg just want these aliens gone. And eventually a company called MNU decides to step in and relocate these aliens to a different part of South Africa. And the main plot follows one of the workers of MNU, a guy named Wikus, who is going out and serving eviction notices to the people of District 9, where all the aliens currently live. Now, I've been looking forward to this film for a couple of months now, because when I first saw the previews a few months back, I didn't really understand what the movie was about. And even going into the movie, I didn't really understand what it was about. And it completely took me by surprise. I was expecting this movie to be aliens come in peace to Earth, but then the humans don't accept them sort of deal. But that's not what the movie turned into. This movie was more along the lines of, the aliens didn't want to come to Earth, but somehow they came anyway. And the humans just say, get the hell out of here, we don't want you. Which is a strange twist, if anyone has seen past alien films. Most alien films typically run one of two ways, where it's either they come in peace and they want harmony with the humans, or they come to kick the living hell out of us. This is a third type, where the aliens come to Earth, but we're superior to them, and we basically shun them and make them a lower class than anyone on the planet. And initially, when you do see these aliens on screen, you don't harbor many feelings for them. You just look at them and say, oh, well, they're friggin' ugly. Kind of the way the humans are acting in the film. But initially, you start to realize that these aliens are more intelligent than the humans are giving them credit for. And a variety of different motives play out in this film between the aliens and the humans and the government, and it makes for an incredible film. I wish I could tell you guys more about this film, but I'm afraid if I do, it would be spoiling too much. But if there is one thing I can say, it's that I am more impressed by what these filmmakers did on their budget than what they did with the actual film. While this film is great, it impresses me that much more because of the money it was made for. Previous films that have been released this summer have had massive budgets, films like Star Trek and Wolverine, which have had budgets near or over the $100 million mark. However, this film created an incredible experience, and its budget was only $30 million. And that impresses me more than anything else. That Peter Jackson and the director of this film, Neill Blomkamp, were able to create such a fun and entertaining experience without having a massive budget. And that really impresses me. Now, this film is not flawless. Towards the end of this film, this movie does become almost comical with all of the blood and gore that's throwing around. While that's good occasionally in the film, and I did enjoy that throughout most of the film, towards the end, when it's becoming much more serious and the plot is finally coming to fruition, you don't want to see that just being thrown everywhere. And while I thought it was fun throughout the beginning and the middle of the film, towards the end it almost became a bit obnoxious with all the blood they were throwing everywhere. So, final rating. anyone who is a fan of the sci-fi genre or of the alien genre, or if you're just a lover of film in general, this is a great experience. However, this film is rated R for a reason, and I can't stress that enough. This movie is quite dark at times, and it is very graphic and very gory. Anyone under the age of 16 or 15 should not be going into this film, and I cannot stress that enough. But that being said, this movie is nothing but great. I'm going to give this film 4.5 stars. This is as close as I've seen to a perfect film all summer. I enjoyed nearly every moment of this movie. And let me say this before finishing up this review. I don't know what Peter Jackson and Neill Blomkamp talked about when they were discussing the alien weapons for this film, but they are freaking fantastic. The alien weaponry is so out of this world and is so much fun to watch that I was cracking up when they were using it. It's almost like Peter Jackson and Neill Blomkamp sat down and said, okay, how can we kill humans? Set them on fire from 200 yards away? Yeah, sure. Have their heads explode? Oh, yeah, sure. Have them liquefied in the blood and just have them fly everywhere? Oh, yeah, perfect. Damn, guys, that's some brutal crap. So, take care.